How's it going, guys? My name is Michael, and today let's talk about the possible release date for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, as well as some potential leaks that say that it could be, pushed back into 2021. Originally, it was speculated and leaked that it was going to be the holiday release for 2020 to combat the new Xbox Series X and the PS5, but with all the global pandemic issues that have been going on right now, as well as the social distancing and the shelter-in-place orders, especially over in Japan, it has kind of put a back seat with all of the development and everything that's been going on with unreleased titles. Now, if the games have been finished, they're still going to be put on schedule for release, but the games that are still in development are being delayed because of everything going on. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be delayed into 2021, because it looks like everything seems to be going in a, everything's starting to kind of calm down in terms of the pandemic, but still it is a very big possibility. So let's go ahead and read some of these articles where some of these leakers and some of these inside guys have talked about this issue, and let's go ahead and see what they have to say. Now, this article was posted by Gamer Evolution back on January 31st, 2020. Now, because it was back in January, I don't necessarily think it's linked to the whole global pandemic, and it talks about here with the Nintendo leakers, they're just saying basically that it has fallen behind schedule because, it's very typical. A lot of previous Zelda titles have been delayed, like Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and some others. They all get delayed, and the reason why is because they want them to be really good games. They want to make sure that they're complete, whole finished games with no issues, and I personally support that. So as you can see in the article here, it says, today a reliable Nintendo leaker dropped the news on Twitter that Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is delayed. While Nintendo hasn't set a date or even announced an official title for Breath of the Wild 2, previous rumors pointed to a holiday 2020 release for the game. Unfortunately, the rumor states development has fallen behind schedule and we won't see Breath of the Wild 2 in 2020. And another article that was posted by Tech Radar back on April 8th talks kind of about the same thing, and it reads on to say this. It says, Nintendo hasn't shared much information other than the trailer and a few sparse comments run through below, but the trailer did close off with a line stating that the Breath of the Wild sequel was in development. We certainly don't think we'll see the game being released in the coming months though. Last year, leaker Sabi suggested that Breath of the Wild 2 is due for release in 2020, but warned that Zelda release dates are historically delayed internally or publicly. And it seems they were right, as the leaker has since claimed that Breath of the Wild 2 has been delayed likely into 2021. And another article that was posted yesterday by the Nintendo Life talks about the impact of the global pandemic with the gaming industry. And it reads on to say this. It says, we've seen disruption to the games industry already, and repercussions will likely become more evident as the year progresses, as companies large and small are forced to delay projects. However, we were keen to find out the realities of the situation from a developer perspective. So we spoke to a handful of Switch developers from around the world to find out how coronavirus has changed the day-to-day over the past month or so, and to find out how those changes will affect their projects going forward. And they talked to Gavin Price, which is a studio director and co-founder of Playtonic Games, and he said massively so, and probably very similar to how people all over the globe are being affected. Mechanically, getting everyone into a position to work from home was a simple part for us. We do allow staff to work from home already when it helps them with their work-life balance. However, the extra steps required to communicate successfully and critically for a game developer, the ability to collaborate is massively slowed down. So as you can see, the production and development for these games is quite challenging because of the fact that there is so many social distancing measures being put into place to stop the pandemic. So of course, you're going to see delays and a lot of big titles throughout the year and probably into next year as well. But on a more positive note, there is some speculation that we still could see Breath of the Wild 2 come in 2020. And I'll read another article by the Express Co. in the UK talking about this possibility. And it reads on to say this in the article. It says, we still have no idea what could be coming to the Nintendo Switch in the second half of 2020. The House of Mario has left plenty of questions open surrounding what will be the big holiday release for the Nintendo Switch in 2020. And this will surely be addressed with an upcoming Nintendo Direct, possibly possibly the typical June Direct. But could Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 be the reason that Nintendo has left their Switch schedule for the second half of the year open? Initial rumors had indicated that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 was going to be the big holiday release for 2020. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that we'll actually see The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 in 2020, or do you think it's going to be delayed? I personally think that there's still a possibility for it to be released in 2020, but I will say that I definitely think that it's probably going to be delayed back into 2021, just because it's a very common thing. A lot of Zelda titles have been pushed back multiple times, but I personally don't mind because I want it to be a beautiful, full game with no issues, and it's just going to be a better experience if they decide to delay it to make sure everything's polished out perfectly, because again, they're going to have to make sure it's on par with Breath of the Wild or even be better than Breath of the Wild, which is a very, very tough task to do because, I mean, Breath of the Wild was a great game. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this. Also, if you want to hang out with me and some others in the community while I'm gaming, make sure you go follow me over on my Twitch channel. The link will be in the description below. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, great night, wherever you are. And until next time, peace out.